Due to the establishment of Nusantara Investment Authority, or NIA, the Indonesian government stated its readiness to inject 75 trillion rupiah initial capital to the investment management institution.
The Indonesian government will inject funds worth 75 trillion rupiah for the initial capital of Indonesia's sovereign wealth fund, or formerly called Nusantara Investment Authority, or NIA, while the injection of funds come from 2020 state budget and other sources. The decision is contained in Government Regulation Number 74 of 2020 concerning initial capital for investment management institutions. In addition, it is also regulated in Government Regulation Number 73 of 2020 concerning investment management institutions. Nusantara Investment Authority's capital of 75 trillion rupiah will be fulfilled in two stages, namely the initial capital deposit in the form of cash funds of at least 15 trillion rupiah. The rest is in the form of capital fulfillment after the initial deposit is carried out in stages until 2021. Capital participation from the state is provided in the form of cash, state-owned goods, state receivables to SOE, and limited liability companies and state-owned shares. For information, Nusantara Investment Authority will later become an institution that is given special authority in the context of managing central government investment, then carry out investment management activities, collaborate with other parties including trust fund entities, determine potential investment partners, provide and receive loans, and administer assets. From all sources for IDX Channel.
The establishment of the Indonesian Investment Management Institution went well, especially after the Omnibus Law was passed, which indeed mandated the establishment of the Investment Management Institution. But what are the actual duties and functions of the Indonesia's Investment Management Institution? Let's check it out on the first graphic. This is the establishment of Nusantara Investment Authority, or NIA. The function and tasks: 1. Placing funds in financial instruments, carried out asset management activities, cooperating with other parties, including trust fund entities, determine potential investment partners, and providing and receiving loans, and administration of assets. This is based on Government Regulation Number 74 of 2020. Coordinating Minister for the Economy Affairs Erlangga Hartarto said that the Nusantara Investment Authority would manage investment funds from abroad and within the country as an alternative source of financing, and at the same time reduce dependence on short-term funds. Furthermore, the establishment of this institution aims to increase and optimize the value of investment that's managed in the long term to support sustainable development. In addition, the government hopes that the Nusantara Investment Authority will have flexibility in investing, professional and independent management, and be able to capture investors' appetite. So regarding the operation of this institution, what is the actual capital mechanism for establishing this institution? The information is in the next graphic. This is Nusantara Investment Authority's initial capital scheme. Stage 1, capital deposit by the government in the form of cash funds, at least 15 trillion rupiah. And in the second stage, or the stage 2, fulfillment of capital gradually until it reaches 75 trillion in 2021. And the injection of funds comes from the 2020 state budget and other sources. As stated by President Joko Widodo, the Indonesian government will inject funds worth 75 trillion rupiah for the initial capital of this institution. The government said that the injection of funds came from the 2020 state budget and other sources, which is regulated in Government Regulation number 74 of 2020 concerning initial capital for investment management institutions. In more detail, after the injection of 15 trillion rupiah in phase 1, the government will try to fulfill its gradual capital fulfillment, which is given in the form of cash, state-owned goods, state receivables to SOE, and public companies and government shares in SOE or public companies. Not only about capital, Nusantara Investment Authority also needs strategic partners or investors who have funds that can be managed both from within and outside the country. It's answered by the investment commitments of a number of countries in this institution. What are these countries? We check the data in the next graphic. So this is the initial foreign investment to Nusantara Investment Authority, or NIA, U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, as much as $2 billion. And then we have Japan Bank for International Cooperation, $4 billion, and CPP Investment, $2 billion. And not only succeed in attracting foreign investors to engage, the establishment of this institution also had a positive impact on SOE share price in the construction and infrastructure sector. Let's check the information on the next graphic. This is the impact of NIA rules issuance on SOE infrastructure shares price by December 17, 2020. Waskita Karya went up the price of the share 20.2%, Adikarya went up 14.7%, Pembangunan Perumahan 8.5%, Wijaya Karya 7.7%, Semen Batu Raja 6.12%, Jasa Marga 4.68%, and Semen Indonesia 2.58%. Mirai Asset Sekuritas analyst Joshua Michael said that the establishment of NIA would have the potential to increase the number of projects that SOE infrastructures could undertake. And hopefully the presence of the Nusantara Investment Authority can be a support for Indonesia's independence, especially in terms of development funding, but of course with a careful and transparent management and supervision. Stay tuned on Market Lines because we'll be right back after the break.